Kate Sherman has been a babysitter for the Fahmy family for 3 years, making her almost an older sister to Tamer, the Fahmy's 7-year-old son. The evening began routinely. It was 7 o'clock on a cold February night in New York. The Fahmy couple left a list of precise instructions, especially from Mrs. Fahmy, who was known for being strict and meticulous. Kate, despite her familiarity with the routine, felt a sense of discipline akin to her old, stern history teacher, Mrs. Barron's. However, she had long learned to adhere to Mrs. Fahmy's instructions somewhat robotically. This time, Tamer was ill. He had a fever, and Mrs. Fahmy insisted he should sleep undisturbed. They mentioned they were visiting a friend who had found a rare action figure for Tamer, who adored superheroes. Tomorrow was Tamer's 7th birthday, and the rare toy was meant to be his special gift. Kate couldn't help but feel envy towards the boy's pampering parents. She made a mental note to think of a gift for Tamer too. As soon as the couple left, she tiptoed upstairs to check on the sleeping boy, then settled herself in the living room. She turned on the television, lowering the volume to avoid waking Tamer. However, an hour passed, and boredom crept in. Used to spending time playing entertaining games with Tamer, being alone seemed dull. She turned off the TV, browsed the bookshelf, but found nothing of interest except books in Arabic she couldn't read. Restless, she wandered to the kitchen, but even the packed fridge failed to tempt her. She grabbed some ice cream and returned to the living room, watching through the window as the moonlight spilled into the room, dreading a long night. Suddenly, the phone rang, startling her out of her reverie. At first, she stood frozen, but then laughed at her jumpiness. The phone rang again, and she answered, expecting Mrs. Fahmy. But there was silence at the other end. Puzzled and slightly annoyed, she repeated, "Hello? Hello?" But no one answered, merely the echo of her voice. She dismissed it as a prank and hung up. Soon, the phone rang again. This time, there was a muffled, eerie sound on the other end, accompanied by a disturbing groan that truly unsettled Kate. Panicked, she hung up immediately. Was it Mac, her friend who loved pranks? But she had never given him this number. The phone rang once more, and cautiously, she picked up. "Hello, Mac," she ventured. A gruff voice responded, "Get out of the house now, or I will kill you." She dropped the receiver as if it were burning hot and screamed, stopping only when the line went silent. Her mind raced, conjuring images of serial killers and supernatural creatures. Frightened, she decided to call the police. She was connected to a calm officer who listened to her recounting the calls, soothing her and asking if she was sure it wasn't a prank by a friend. Reassured by the officer's calm demeanor, Kate explained she was not. The officer advised her to stay put and contact the Fahmys while they tracked the call. Just as she felt slightly relieved, making up her mind to check on Tamer, the phone rang again. Summoning her courage, she followed the officer's advice to keep the caller on the line.